This is a resume of a software engineer that has been unemployed for over a year and a half. I'm a recruiter and I review your resumes. I do more than tech resumes, but right now the tech market is in the dumpster, so like 90% of the resumes sent to me are tech, but I do accounting and all that other stuff as well. So this is a software engineer, full stack, and they said they've been unemployed since November 2024. They've used Job Hire AI to spam their resume, which has led them to absolutely nothing, so don't waste your time with that. And manual applications through Indeed and LinkedIn. My last job was through LinkedIn. They are currently driving Uber to make ends meet, and they're working on their own software in the hope of getting traction and monetizing, but it's never been that hard before. Yeah, we are in a recession. I want to let everybody know jobs are harder than they've ever been to get. We're in a recession. That's what it means. We've started to get into one in late 2022, and then we were actually like slowly recovering until 2024, and then, well, the government's done basically everything they could to make it worse. So we were starting to recover, and then they punched it in the face, and now it's way worse, and we're in a full-blown recession. So, this is probably the thirdest version of my resume, and nothing seems to work. I've had 20 to 30 screening calls the entire time, but maybe 5 to 10 first interviews, which is about a ratio of, depending on which one you count, for 4,000 is about 200 to 1, which is bad. So when people follow my methods, they get 1 interview per 7 applications. On average, that's what they get. For internationals, it's usually 1 in 100. That's because of how bad the market is. But if you're a non-international, which, you know, when you're in the U.S., I can get you a 1 in 7 application ratio on average. And in the EU and in the U.K., it works globally. So, I haven't been counting. Hope you can help. All right, well, let's help. So, what do we need in a full stack software developer? Well, we need degree, right? Or if you don't have a degree, then you can have a boot camp, although it is going to be harder without a degree. You're probably never going to get a 1 in 7 without a degree. That's how important it is, but that doesn't mean it's impossible to get. Then we need TypeScript, JavaScript, HTML, CSS. Look at me, look at me, look at me. I don't care how basic you think they are. I don't care if you think TypeScript means X or Y. You need TypeScript, JavaScript, HTML, CSS. But Lee, nope, TypeScript, JavaScript, HTML, CSS. But what about TypeScript, JavaScript, HTML, CSS? What if TypeScript, JavaScript, HTML, CSS? You need them all. You need 4 of those. And you need it to be in the first bullet point. Otherwise, you're probably going to get rejected. RESTful API or REST APIs. SQL, any cloud, AWS, GCP, or Azure. You really do want one of those. Backend, you want at least one of the popular backends, Python, C#, or Java. React, React.js, Angular, Node.js, Vue.js, DevOps, CI/CD, Agile, Git, and a couple of other things for extra credit. So, recruiters only have 20 seconds to find what we need. Can I find this in 20 seconds? No, because this gets they've had like 10 interviews in a year and a half. So I'm not going to be able to find it in 20 seconds. But let's see what I can find. And this is their 3rd iteration, so maybe this iteration is better. All right, and go. If this is a cell phone company, that is a red flag. Built and operated production SaaS platform for fiction publishing. That has no relevancy. Designed and implemented a .NET. Okay, minimal APIs for vertical. What is this? Archived to 50. Okay, this is all hot dogs. And time. That's it. That's all I get. And you had 0 of these except for Python. No, .NET. You had .NET. That was it. That was all I found. These are terrible bullet points. This is why one of the reasons you're struggling. Now, I will say you've got this stuff, so you have Actually, here's my thing is, I don't even see a boot camp. I'm a little confused where you got this experience. Oh, and you had a senior Bro, in your haste to try and cover up your gap, you have made your resume infinitively worse. You know what you want to do? You want to just delete this whole section. Nothing here is relevant. This entire section is hurting you. Who cares if you've been there since 2019? This is a project. Why would you put a project above it? This entire thing needs to be deleted. None of these bullet points are useful. This is going to look terrible on it. Let the gap ride. Candidates see a gap and they freak out. And I'm going to tell you, while there are some very picky hiring managers out there in regards to gap, the vast majority of them don't care until your gap is over 2 years. And even then, most of the time, you still just want to let it ride. So this entire section, delete. Then go down to here. This is what we actually care about. Let a team of 7 engineers, including 5 junior engineers. Perfect. I like that. So some leadership. And for senior engineers, you could want that. Mentoring on a full stack system design. Boo. What full stack? What was the keywords for that? Also, I want to let you know we're not keyword hunting. We are qualification hunting. But these are a keyword. This is what the hiring team needs. A qualification is a keyword plus how you used it, plus the non-technical reasons you used it, plus where you used it. That is what a qualification is. But, yeah, what kind of full stack? Was it TypeScript, JavaScript, HTML? I don't know. You didn't tell me. That's why you ruined this sentence. It started off good. Led a team of 7 engineers, including 5 juniors, mentoring on a TypeScript, JavaScript, HTML, CSS stack, design, Angular architecture, and scalable front-end, back-end integrations. Why? Why did you do this? I don't know. You didn't tell me. You need to tell me the non-technical reasons. Own the development of multiple Angular. You just mentioned Angular. You don't need to mention it twice. Mentioning Angular here. Where'd it go? Here. Good. Mentioning Angular here. Bad, and my light went off. All right, we're going to do the rest of this in the dark. Mentioning Angular somewhere else here, good. Mentioning it twice there, no. Remember, it's one of the keywords per job. That is the goal, and each bullet point needs to contain 3 to 6 of them total. And this is not it. So this entire sentence can also be deleted. Bloop. And why do you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 bullet points? Why do you have 14 bullet points for a job you've been at for 3 years? This should be 5 max. 5 bullet points max. And most of these are terrible too. Let's see. What is this? What's a bad one here? Directed to consumer insurance. That's not related to being a software engineer. Policy management. Don't care. White label purchase. Completely irrelevant. Deliver the end-to-end features across back end. Completely irrelevant because I want RESTful APIs, not RESTful. Design and partially implemented OAuth 2. System enabling. Hot dog, that's irrelevant. Continue to back-end monitorization, irrelevant. Played a key in performance optimization, irrelevant. All right, so I want you to imagine that you're hungry, and you're going to a restaurant, and you tell the waiter, I would like a cheeseburger. The waiter says, would you like anything else? You say no. Just a cheeseburger. That's all I want. It's fast food, whatever. I just want a cheeseburger. Been craving it. So the waiter goes back and they bring you a hot dog with cheese. And you go, excuse me, I think there's been a slight issue. I wanted a cheeseburger. And they say, yeah, this is what we got you. And you say, no, this is a hot dog. And they say, well, a hot dog has meat like a hamburger. A hot dog has buns like a hamburger. A hot dog has cheese just like a hamburger. So when you said you wanted a cheeseburger, this is what you wanted. You would look at them like they were insane, and you would walk away and not pay, because that is not what you ordered. And that is the exact same problem here. OAuth 2, hot dog. Backend monitorization and PHP monolith into microservices, hot dog. Played a key role in API, hot dog. You know what's not a hot dog? TypeScript, JavaScript, HTML, CSS, RESTful APIs or REST APIs, SQL, Cloud, Backend, so Python, React, React.js, Angular, Node.js, or Vue.js. Again, the only thing I see here, and I'm going to keep this as a green flag. This is actually good. The only thing I see here is Angular, meaning I have to go through this entire page to get one thing that I'm looking for. And you know how much of these you need to get a job written in qualification format? You need 75%. Built and maintained a CI/CD pipeline. Okay, good. Don't care. And deployed the services to AWS. Finally, something I can use. But then I don't care about this part. But then again, you got to tell me the non-technical reasons you did it. Collaborated with DevOps. Oh my gosh, finally. Using Terraform, hot dog, to improve infrastructure workflows and deployment consistency. That's fine. That tells me what it is. But again, you only have one here, and each bullet point needs a minimum of 3 keywords, maximum of 6. So this is the problem with this resume. This is why you're not getting anything, is your resume is almost entirely blank. You have 2 pages worth of nothing. Except this. I like the start of this. This is a good start. That's a good use of numbers. You don't want numbers in your resume, except this. This is a good use of numbers, like this 102 B2B clients. Nobody cares. 10,000 policies. Nobody cares. But led a team of seven engineers, including 5 juniors. That's really good. That's a good one. But yeah, this is why you're struggling, is this resume has nothing in it. You are submitting this to jobs, and people that are looking at this, both the managers and the recruiters, are like, well, they're not a full stack developer. There's absolutely nothing here that would imply they're a full stack developer. Because I'm not looking for white label purchase. I'm not looking for RESTful microservices. I'm not looking for PHP. I'm not looking for OAuth 2. I'm looking for this stuff. And again, RESTful API versus REST API. Not RESTful. That's what I said. You have to be this specific. So this is why you're struggling, is there's nothing in here I can use until the second page. And we have 20 seconds. And if you notice, I didn't even make it past, where did it? I didn't even make it past here. Like, this is as far as I could make it. So what you need to do is start with this, and delete this, and then if you did not get a college degree, just leave this blank. That's fine. You can leave this blank. But what about the Azure fundamentals? No, you already have AWS here. It doesn't matter. Like, why do I need the fundamentals when you already show that you can use it in this job? Certs are only if you don't have it, and you do actually have it. So I'm going to need you to delete this resume, start again with a formatting that looks like this, except for your case, because education is not relevant, you would remove the education and put it at the bottom instead of at the top. And again, if anybody wants this format, you can get it below. It's on my site. It's free. And then write bullet points that we actually need, because none of these bullet points can be used, except for like 1 or 2 of these at the very bottom. But remember, we have 20 seconds. We're probably not going to get past, let's see, where is it on the screen? Here. This is about as far as we can go max. So I'm going to need you to go back to the drawing board. I'm going to need you to delete like all of this and then start again, because this is why you're struggling. It has nothing to do with this. The gap's not helping, but it's not a gap issue. It's the fact that your resume is blank. Like, you're submitting a blank piece of paper, and that's hurting it. So that's all I can do for this resume. Before we go to the next one, I just want to thank my members for supporting me. They get access to videos a little bit early. If you want, you can join and be a member in the link below. But I just want to say thank you very much for supporting me. And if anybody needs help with their resume, they can join my live stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 11 a.m. PST on twitch.tv/headlessheadhunter and right here on YouTube. But let's go to the next resume. This is a data scientist resume, and this is their second iteration. And they have put so many lees in this resume. So what do we need for a data scientist? We need degree, Python or R with a preference for Python. SQL, the industry. Every single industry is going to require slightly different things. I cannot be in every industry, but like just healthcare would be H17, I think. So explaining stuff to non-technical folk, that's huge. Influencing stakeholders, cross-functional. ML Ops, which I might actually have to remove. Microsoft Office apps, Word, Excel, PowerPoint, or Google Sheets. Yes, you need it. Yes, you need it. That is in almost every single job description. Again, it doesn't matter how basic it is. It matters that they're asking for it. And you need that. Dashboards and data visualization such as Power BI, and then extra credit, which was in a couple of jobs but not a ton, is just using AI and working with it, and data in all its forms, so like modeling, analytics, etc. We do not know their new ratio because it is new. So 20 seconds on the clock, and let's begin. Go. Okay, that's kind of neat. Helps physicians make better patient decisions by pulling data in all its forms. You kind of have to be specific. Database is good. Findings in Excel and translating complex plain. I like the start of that. Served as a lead data scientist across multiple research using Python, SAS, and R to deliver ad hoc. And solved messy patient data and time. So this isn't bad. I would actually lead with this sentence. I think this is a stronger sentence, right? Is served as the lead data scientist. I don't know if you need to say across multiple research studies. I think you can just say for multiple research studies, right? For multiple research studies using Python, don't care about SAS, and R. So Python, R, and then one more to deliver ad hoc analysis. Not really what we're looking for. Data dashboards, we are. So put dashboards, parentheses, like Power BI or Looker, and visualizations. See, I would say instead of dashboards, just put data visualization or dashboards. You don't need both of those, so just pick which one you want. That influence clinical decision making and kept every project on time. Perfect. So lead with this sentence, shrink it a little bit, add one or two other keywords if you can. Otherwise, that's really good. And then we go to this one, which is, see, I don't know if I like this, because help better decisions isn't really, I'd rather you say translated complex medical research into plain language using Excel, Word, and PowerPoint so our clinical teams could act on it. So that's how I want you to write that sentence, and I want it to be the second one. Solved messy. Don't say messy. Don't add these adjectives, right? Solved patient population data problems using SQL. Okay, good. Python, no, because remember, you already mentioned Python here. You don't need to mention Python here. It's once per job. You can mention Python here is good, right? So like here, let me use the right ones. So Python here, good. Python here, good. Python here, bad. R here, bad. Actually, did you use R anywhere else? You did. So R there, bad. R here, good. So I'm gonna need more stuff. And yeah, I mean, like, this is a brag, and brags shouldn't be in most resumes. This one doesn't really matter, right? Machine learning is nice, but the rest of it isn't, and it's not worth a whole sentence. You need to combine it, because, let's see, drove stakeholder communication by translating complex modeling outputs, actionable recommendation for leadership, supporting data-driven political field questions. I like this. I just want a little bit more. So again, this is not a terrible resume. I actually think this could probably get a couple of interviews, but it's a little long-winded. You kind of don't mention a ton of... See, if you're going for healthcare, I'd still want to see like H17 or whatever. But I just need a little bit more and a little bit less at the same time. I need a little bit less hot dogs like this sentence and a little bit more in this sentence and this sentence. But this is, you've got the right idea. So overall, would this pass? I don't know. It would be close. It would be very close. But I think this could be at least a 1 in 50. But I really, really want you to start making these leaner. And let's go to the next resume. This is a resume of a cybersecurity intern. This is their new resume, not the old one. Their old one couldn't land an interview after 100 applications. They're looking for cybersecurity internships. I updated my resume using your advice. I'm also an upcoming software engineer intern at a fintech, but haven't started yet. That's good. I'm glad you're getting that internship at least. So let's see what's good and bad. So for interns, we really only want 4 things. We want your degree. We want industry knowledge, which is going to be a basic industry knowledge. So in this case, it's going to be MS Office. Yes, MS Office. I swear I've seen so many jobs that want MS Office for cybersecurity interns. Networking, not like making a friend to get a job networking, but like networks and the computers and stuff. Cybersecurity principles, phishing, malware, Windows, and presenting. your job will be to present to people that don't know what a phishing thing is. And you have to explain, hey, maybe it's not a good idea to put your full social, credit card information, and bank account routing number to somebody that said they were a prince of a foreign nation. Just a hunch. Also, that's not phishing. That phishing would be, hey, this is y'all know what phishing is. Anyway, the other thing they need is a degree, the ability to work well with others, and the takes direction and criticism. So, can I find those in 20 seconds? Oh, let's find out. And go. Degree. Good. Okay. This is fine. I wouldn't even put this there. Build a cross-platform TCP networking scanning tool that connects larger host of Windows, Mac, Linux, portable. This is a lot of hot dogs. Engineered a scanning engine to run hundreds of TCP IP connections, supporting network reconnaissance and security. Hot dog. Mapped a target firewall. Hot dog. Remember, I'm not looking for this stuff. You know what? I will say I might want TCP IP. They might want TCP IP. But I'm really looking for a basic stuff. Like, there's a reason MS Office is there. Like, if you look at these job positions, you'll see these are what they're looking for. They're looking for networking, which I don't think I see. I see network segments buried deep into a very, very dense bullet point. But I don't really see networking. I don't see cybersecurity principles. I don't see phishing malware. I do see Windows, right? Windows, Linux, Mac OS, that's good. And I don't see that you would present to others. Again, your technical skills have a cap. There is a limit to how important your technical skills are at the job. You do need a minimum amount to get in the door, but once you get in the door with that minimum amount, the rest of it is not a technical problem. And that is the problem with this is I don't see what I need. I don't see you can work well with others. I don't see direction and criticism. I don't see basic cybersecurity principles. I don't see IT. I don't see MS Office. I don't see networking. I don't see phishing. I don't see malware. I don't see presentations. And because I do not see any of those, I can't move you forward. And I know it's enraging because you're clearly a smart person, but that's what gets you a job is the boring basic stuff that everybody has. I've gotten more accountants jobs in my life by just putting Excel. You know how many accountants don't put Excel? Almost all of them, because they think, why would I need to do that? Every accountant knows Excel. Cool, doesn't matter. That's what they're looking for. And this is not it. I want you to start again and keep maybe one or two of these bullet points, but I need this stuff. I need this stuff. It doesn't matter how basic it is. This is what I need. Next, resume. This is a digital design engineer. We don't know anything about this person besides that they are about to graduate. We don't know their ratio. What we need is degree. You really want to show that you have a degree. Explaining complex topics to non-technical people. That was in a ton of them. I need to see that you can explain to Bob from an accounting why a RTOSER embedded processor I2C is needed. If you cannot do your job. You need to explain these complex topics. Then I need a wild amount of acronyms. I've probably missed one or two, but the ones that I saw the most are FPGA, C++, Siemens, PCB, and then any of the others. You don't need all of those. You just need like 50% of them. And then if you have security clearance, it's a bonus. Now, this is a very hot market. So you should be getting like a 1 in 5 to a 1 in 10 with your resume. So 20 seconds on the clock, which I would have more than 20 seconds for this one. Let's see what I can find. My dog is barking in the background. And go. Formatting awful. Designed a fully pipeline on a for a FPGA. Good. To work with an developed a virtual FIFO. I don't think I need any of those. Those were not part of any of the things I was looking for. To treat, blah, blah, blah. This is not mattered. ITC, maybe. Collaborated closely with PCB designers, engineers to align hardware. That's actually pretty good, but I need a little bit more. And time. So, first off, your formatting needs to look like this. Second off, You went way too technical. Now, it is possible I've missed one or two of these, and some of these are keywords, but probably not all of them, and you repeated them like 8 times, because remember, you only want to have one keyword of the same type per job. There's no way you needed to put AXI 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times in the first 3 bullet points. You have more AXIs than there are bullet points in this job. So I'm going to need you to redo that. Here I actually like, which is collaborate closely with PCB designers, physicists, and ASIC engineers to align hardware between FPGA and customs. But I want a little bit more. Why did you do that? I don't know. You didn't tell me. Electrical engineering intern, HMI. Yeah, so I need you to go back to the drawing board with this. And while you don't need all of these acronyms, I would suggest PCB, FPGA, RTOS, Siemens, and then like five of the other ones. But what I do need to see is that you can explain complex topics to non-technical people. If I do not see that you can explain what this stuff is, then you have failed. And you have already failed based on that, because someone who is non-technical is going to read that and their eyes are going to be like, I don't know what that is. Why do I know that you configure to pedal Linux BSP, including device tree customization to reserve PSDDR memory regions and integrate AXI ITC drivers for programming peripherals on the attached daughter board? This is the first time in my life I've heard daughter board. And I have actually hired electrical engineers and circuit engineers before. This is overly complicated and written for an audience that doesn't exist. I need you to simplify it so that they can understand, because the person reading this, including the hiring manager, may be non-technical. Next resume. This is a software engineer intern. And what do we need for interns? Again, 4 things. Degree, basic knowledge of your industry, which in this case is tech stack. So language, library, SQL, cloud, maybe a little bit of AI. Whoa, lost my voice. A little bit of AI. The ability to work well with others, and that you can take direction and criticism. That is all that we need for that. So, 20 seconds on the clock. This person has a 50-to-1 ratio. They are in the EU, so that's going to be skewed a little bit. I'm trying to break into FANG from EU, looking for big tech positions. Currently interning in a big IT company. Big fan of all your work. No worries. Glad to help. So, 20 seconds is on the clock. And again, let's find out and go. Doesn't matter. All right, designed a Java-based cloud. What kind of cloud? End-to-end requirements directly from users. Cloud requests. That's actually really good. Decrease feature delivery from 4 to 1 weeks. Bug resolution by implementing. Oh, no, don't care. Improve reliability by building integrating automated records. Jenkins has some of the stuff. And cut CPU time. Your first bullet point is actually really good. Everything else is not. Delivered a Java-based, what kind of cloud? Was it AWS? Was it Azure? Was it GCP? I don't know. Should say delivered a Java-based whatever in AWS or whatever it was. Data analysis application, gathering requirements directly from users, and collaborating across teams to define priorities and deliverables. You know what that shows? That you can work well together with others. And almost take direction and criticism. This sentence alone is probably getting you a lot of stuff. And it has Java. The problem is the rest of it doesn't. Remember, skill sections don't count. Everything in this does not count. You know what also should be up here is your education. Why is your education all the way down there? Your education should be at the top. That's like a critical requirement of an intern. So your education should be here. It should look like this. And then the problem is the rest of these bullet points are kind of bad. Like, you already show that you can work well with others and almost take direction and criticism, which is phenomenal in the first one. But then I want a little bit more. Like, again, I'm not looking for all of this crazy stuff. I'm looking for the basics. People think that when you're trying to, like, get ahead in the job searches, you need to show how good you are. And that's false. You need to show that you meet the bare minimum qualifications. You know what I don't see? I don't see SQL. I don't see cloud, because remember, you have to tell me what kind of cloud. I don't see RESTful APIs. I don't see, I guess if it's Java, it would be like Spring Boot. And that's hurting you. And your formatting is atrocious. So if you just added a couple of those things and then put some good bullet points here, right? You do want to keep CI/CD. CI/CD is good there. So I would keep the first one, add if you have the actual cloud, and then have a couple of other bullet points here that describe what you did, how you did it, and the business reasons you did it, not the technical, the business. Because this is a really good first sentence, and then everything else isn't. And then you really, really need to fix your formatting. Because, like, this is why you're getting interviews, is this first sentence is fantastic. If your entire resume was blank, besides this and your education, you would probably get almost as many interviews as you do now. So I want you to go back, and then I want you to write these in simple, basic terms. And it's not just for the recruiter, it's for the hiring manager. Because architected the full software system, okay, good. Using VCU, who cares? BMS, nobody cares. Telemetry platform for 14 engineer, irrelevant. Reducing integration rework by 25%, irrelevant. So I want you to write the rest of them like this, and then tell me the what, the how, the business reasons, not the technical reasons. Nobody cares that you did a free RTOS processing 20 plus sensors. That's not relevant. All they care about is what you used it for. So phenomenal first sentence, bad everything else. But that first sentence alone is salvaging it. So that's all I could do for this resume, and that's it for this video. I just want to thank y'all for watching, liking, commenting, subscribing. And to my members, they get access to videos a little bit early. Thank you very much for supporting me. If anybody wants to do that and support me as well, you can join in the link below. But just thank you very much. It means a lot to me. And if you ever need more help, join the live stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 11 a.m. PST on twitch.tv/headlesshedhunter and here on YouTube. But that is it for me for this video. I am out. Thank you very much, y'all, and I'll see you in the next video.